Alright guys, today we're going to be looking at transformations of linear functions. In a linear function, you're used to seeing y equals mx plus b. Well, the form that we're going to mainly be looking at is going to be y equals a times bx minus c plus d. Okay? Now this form, a, b, c, and d are going to tell us some different things that are happening to the function. Let's look at some examples. Alright, so here in number 1, we have x plus 3. Well, this 3 here, that is in the position of the d value. It's outside the parentheses and added on. What the d value does is a shift up and down. In this case, d is positive, so it is a shift up of 3. Okay. If we look at example 2 here, well, 2 is outside the parentheses. The value outside the parentheses is our a value. A gives us a vertical stretch or shrink. In this case, it's a value of 2. Anything greater than 1 is going to give us a stretch of 2. Alright, now you'll see our value that's negative 4 is inside the parentheses. That is our c value. Okay. Our c value gives us a right or a left. If c is a negative like this, it is a shift right of 4. Now you're going to see in example 4, we actually have a couple of different things going on here now. Okay? The first thing we have is this negative at the beginning. This negative is part of the a value because it's outside the parentheses. And this 1 is inside the parentheses, so it's going to be part of our c value. Alright? Well, the a value, what that negative sign does, a negative a value is a reflection across the x-axis. Okay? And then our c value there, notice c is a plus now. Before it was a minus and it went right. Because it's a plus on the c, we're going to shift left 1. Okay. Alright, so now let's look at number 5 here. We've got an a value of 1/2, and then we've got a d value of 4. Alright. Well, this a value of 1/2, well, 1/2 is less than 1, so that is a vertical shrink of a half. And then that d value there, the plus 4, remember d goes up and down. So it's going to be a shift up, because it is positive, of 4. Okay, number 6. Number 6 is one that gets a little tricky, because now we're working with the b value. It's inside the parentheses. Okay. We've also got the d value here. Now, b no longer does a vertical stretch and shrink. It does a horizontal. And because b is greater than 1, if b is greater than 1, is a horizontal shrink by 1/3. And then our d value here is positive, so it's going to be a shift up by 1. Alright. So now on number 7 here, we've got our b value inside the parentheses, that negative sign inside the parentheses. And we've got the d value again. Well, that b being negative means we're reflecting across the y-axis now. And then our d value, being a negative 4, is going to be a shift down of 4. All right, here's number 8. Well, here we have our a value and we have a c value. Well, that a value of 1/4 is a vertical shrink by 1/4 because it's less than 1. And that c value, remember c shifts us left and right. If it's positive, it's a left 2. All right, number 9, we've got an a value of -2, and we've got a c value of -4. All right. So that a value actually now does a couple things. Because it's negative, it's going to reflect across the x-axis. And it's also going to be a vertical stretch because there's more than 1 of 2. And those are both because of the a value. Now the c value there, remember, shifts us right or left. It is negative. So it's going to be a shift right of 4. Okay. Now number 10, we're working with our b value and our d value. That b value is negative and it's also 2, so that's going to tell us two separate things. The negative tells us it's going to reflect across the y-axis. And that 2 is going to be a horizontal shrink of 1/2. Then that d value moves us up and down. It's negative, so it's going to be down. So a shift down of 3. All right. So now let's look at one that has several different things going on here. We've got an a value, we've got our c value, we've got our d value. We've got pretty much everything except for a b because b is not changed on this one. Well, the a value is negative. So that's a reflect across the x-axis. Our a value is also -3, so there's a vertical stretch of 3. Those are both from the a value. Our c value moves us right and left, so it's going to shift left because it's positive, 1. And then our d value moves us up and down, so it's going to shift up because it's positive, 2.